Hi everyone, welcome back to Business Studies class. Today's concept is what are the factors to be considered while you start a business. Before we start a business, what are the different things we have to think about? Okay, so those are called the factors, the issues, what you have to consider. For example, when you want to join a particular course, you will think of many things, isn't it? Is that course is useful to me or not? To which profession it will be helpful? Which college offers this particular course? What may be the fees of that particular course? Like this we think of many things, na? Similarly, when you want to start a business, see, initially we have come to know what is business, what is its nature, okay, and what are the importance, objectives, all these things we have learned. After knowing the basic knowledge, basic information about business, now you have decided or you want to start a business. So when you come to this particular decision, you have certain things which you have to consider, means which you have to think about. So those are listed into 10 points. Your points are like this: selection of line of business, size of business, choice of the form of the ownership, location of the business, source of finance, physical facilities, plant layout, competent and committed workforce, tax planning, and lastly, launching of business. So the first one is selection of line of business. When you think of doing a business, you don't want to go for employment nor you want to have any profession. You are not qualified. Sorry. You are not qualified to be a professionalist. Hence, you want to get into a business. Now initially you have to think, you have to select a line of business, whether you want to go with the industry side or you want to go with the commerce. We have seen the classification of business. Business is classified into two, that is industry and commerce. So first you have to select the line of business, that is whether you want to go with industry, that is whether you want to involve in yourself in conversion of raw material into finished goods, or you don't want to involve in such a high-tech job, you want to involve in such a profession where you just act as a middleman. You will be involving yourself in trading activity, that is you buy from someone and you sell to someone, like this. Okay, in this way you have to initially take the step whether I want to start an industry where I take the raw material and I come out with the output, or I want to go with the commerce. In commerce again, whether you want to go with your trade side or your accessories to trade. Apart from this, even you have to think that whether you want to be in existing line of business or you want to come out with something new. For example, many types of businesses we can see now. For example, if you take an example, we have talcum powders, we have creams, we have fairness creams, we have soaps, like this different types of products which are already available in the market. So if you want to come out with the same line of business or you want to come out with something new which is not at all introduced into the market, even you have to think in that way. So if you select your line of business, it will be easy for you to think about other things. First, initially you have to think whether I want to go with industry or commerce, or next step whether you want to come out with the existing product line or you want to come out with a new thing. Is that clear? Then second one is size of business. Size of business in the sense, generally that we study in three headings: large scale business, small medium scale business, and small scale business. Okay, large scale businesses are those where investment is more, your employees recruitment will be more, your production will be more, and your sales targets will be more. In the same way, your profits will also be more. Less than that is your middle, that is medium size industries, businesses, or it can be small size. It depends upon the investment what you make, it depends upon the employees what you take for your business, it also depends upon the risk what you take, the production what you do. Okay, scale of production, whether you want to go with large scale of production, medium scale of production, or lower scale, that is small scale of production. So in this way you have to decide your size of business, whether I want to do business for in a large scale. For example, I want to start a business, take it as an example of trading, that is purchasing from manufacturer and giving to the retailer. I want to be a wholesaler, I want to start a wholesale business. So what I think is, first one is clear, I want to be in wholesale business, that is commerce side, that too falls under your trade side. Okay. Now I have decided to be in a wholesale business. Now in second point, that is size of business, I have to decide whether I want to be whether I want to supply my goods only for my region, or I have to supply to the entire my state or entire to the country. If I say to the entire country or entire state, I say I have to start my wholesale business on large scale. I have to get it, or I have to get orders from entire my state, even from my country also. Or else I can decide that no, I have to get orders only from my region. I don't want to explore as of now. Okay, that means I am doing business in small scale. Is it clear? In that way, you have to decide whether you want to do in large scale, medium scale, or small scale. Okay, you have decided that too. The next is choice of form of the ownership. So this particularly will be seeing in chapter 2. Different forms of ownership you have. You might heard about partnership. You might heard about cooperative societies. You might even heard about sole proprietorships. But other types we have that you will be seeing in second chapter. But as of now, you have to understand that which form of ownership you want to have on your business. You want to be a single owner, or you want to take someone as a partner for yourself, because your investment is not so high. You cannot take all the risk. So because of that, such things, you want to do business on large scale, but you cannot bear everything. You cannot do everything for your business. So you want to take someone with you. So that is become your partnership. So your form of ownership becomes partnership. But if you decide, no, whatever may be the case, whatever may be the situation, it's only me who has to handle everything, then we call it as sole proprietorship. That is a sole owner for the business. That is one of the form of ownership. This will be learning in chapter 2. So you have different forms of ownership. You have to select which form is suitable to your business. Then comes location of the business. It is very essential. Location of the business in the sense the place from where you want to do business. Here you have to remember your place or your location of business. You have to decide whether it should be close to the production unit or it should be close to the marketing unit. Is that clear? See, because goods are produced at one place, but they are sold at different places. Is that clear? Just when you take a product, just see the label of the product. You just go with the details on the label. You can see exactly where that product is produced. Somewhere in some other state it will be, sometimes it will be produced in some other country, but we will be using here. Are you getting that? So you have to decide whether your business should be closer to the place where, if for example, if you are going with the industry, okay, your line of business is industry. So in industry, what you will be doing, you have to take the raw material and you have to convert into finished goods. Then you have to send it to the market where you can sell the goods. Now you have to select your location, whether my business should be near to the place where I can easily get raw materials which I have to use for my industry, or else I should be close to the place where I sell my goods, that is marketplace. You have to decide whether my location, business location, should be close to the place where I get plenty of raw materials very easily, because it's not so easy to transport the raw materials from the available place to the factory. Similarly, it is not even so easy to transfer the produced goods to the marketplace. Both are difficult. But depending upon cost, facility, transportation facility, everything, it's you who has to decide where your business has to be located. Whether if you are in industry side, you have to decide whether my business should be close to the place where raw materials are available in a plenty, or else it should be close to the market area where I have to sell my finished goods. In this way, you have to decide. Then source of finance. As we know, finance is one of the scarce resource. Almost no business person will be sound enough with finance. You might be knowing many of the business magnates, they take loans from the banks. Is it clear? So they acquire funds from the bank, financial institutions, and even sometimes private money lenders. So it's you who has to decide how you want to raise your finance, whether it's you who is going to finance everything from your pocket, or else you are getting from the bank, you want to get it from the bank, or else you want to get it from the financial institutions. All these things we'll study in separate chapter called sources of finance. What are the different options you have, sources of finance you can get as a business person, that we'll be studying. But here you have to understand that among different sources, which source will be suited to you, which source you want to select for your business. Even you will be having like shares, debentures. Through selling shares and debentures also the business can acquire funds, that is gain funds for its business. So it's you who has to decide whether I want to have my own money, or I want to take from the banks, or I want to take from the financial institutions, or from the private money lenders, or from other options like selling shares and debentures, others you have. Okay, this is what you have to decide at this part called source of finance. Source in the sense from where you get. Okay, then comes physical facilities. Physical facilities in the sense you might heard in your accounts also. We say land, building, machinery, all these are very essential to a business. So from where you want to get it, how you want to get it, whether you want to purchase it for yourself. For example, when you want to start a business, initially you need a place, a land, then you need furniture, machineries, equipments, many things you need, isn't it? Apart from men I am speaking about, apart from human being I am speaking about the physical facilities, what actually you need. So what do you want to do, whether you want to purchase everything, pay money and purchase, or you want to take it for lease basis, or you want to take it for rental basis. Even land, machineries, then equipments, all will be available in different options. You can purchase them, you can lease them out, or you can take it for rentals. So it's you who has to decide how you want to acquire your physical resources, whether you want to purchase, you want to take it on a rental basis, or you want to take it on a lease basis. Okay. Then comes plant layout. A plant layout in the sense, it is a scientific and systematic arrangement of different things in an business. See, when I say industry, different units will be there. Different units. A particular unit carries out a particular work. A different departments will be there. In a single industry, in a single business, you will be having different departments like purchase department, stores department, marketing department, finance department, administrative department, security department. Like this, you will be having different departments in an organization. Okay, if it is a production department, again you will be having a production, if it is a production industry side, you will be again having production department. So how these should be arranged in an plant in the sense factory area. Okay, how you want to arrange, where you want to keep a particular industry. In simple, I say that in a classroom, when you enter into a classroom, you will see a systematic arrangement, like a podium will be there, blackboard will be there, nowadays may not be blackboard, but something board will be there, and your podium will be there. Okay, your seating arrangements will be done in such a manner that even lecturers can move around there. They can check you. If they want to reach a particular student area, passage will be arranged in a systematic way so that the lecturer can easily pass in that passage and meet that student, see what he is doing or what she is doing and whether she is writing or not. Like that, in order to do all these things in a systematic way, a classroom will be prepared. They will be getting a chalk box, duster, everything will be arranged. So arranging everything in such a way, we call it as layout. Systematic. See, just imagine if that is not arranged in a right manner. For example, there is no passage at all. There is no place to walk in between to the lecturers. Then what happens? Lecturer will be at the front on the dais, and from there they will be teaching. But lecturers could not see actually what individual students are doing. Someone sitting at the back benches may not able to, they are not writing anything, but there is no passage for the lecturers to move in the classroom and see whether students are doing it or not. Then what happens? It becomes negligency to the students and they may remain unwritten the things. Are you getting that? So arranging everything in a right manner, in a systematic and a scientific manner is called your layout. And when we use this for a plant, for a factory, we call it as a plant layout. So in an industry, it should be arranged, all the departments should be arranged in such a manner that the work should go very smoothly. Example, I'll tell you. To a production department, the stores department and warehouse department should be closer. Are you getting that? To a production department, stores department and warehouse department should be closer. Why? Because always there will be continuous work to the production department with the store people to take the raw materials. And once they produce the goods, these finished goods has to be transported where? To the warehouse, to store. Are you clear? And then to the marketing department. Even marketing department should be close to the production department. If not, what happens? The persons of production department should always, they want to have a contact with the stores people, warehouse and marketing, but they are not arranged in a systematic manner. If they are arranged too far, there will be waste of energy of the people. Always see, I am in marketing department. Okay, I should have a clear cut information what goods are there in my warehouse. So daily I want to have a check. Okay, I have to go to the warehouse and I have to check. If those two departments are arranged in a far place, my time will be wasted. That is what we say, waste movements. Waste movements. Is it clear? So my time will be wasted, my energy will be wasted. So when you plan your layout, you have to plan in such a systematic and scientific manner that different departments you have to arrange in such a manner that which is more connected. Clear? That is what your planned layout is. Then comes, even you have to think to acquire competent and committed workforce. See, if you have location somewhere, if your business location is too far from the people, generally what happens, people, though they are very committed and competent people, they don't want to move to that remote area. For example, if your business is located in a remote area, okay, so people, they don't find interest to work with you because you are located at a remote area. Even you have to see that. Okay, so you have to get competent and committed workforce. When you start a business, you have to think whether I can get competent, that is, a person is having ability to compete. Everyone will work, but how they work differs. Okay, even I teach, someone else also teach, but how we teach, it makes difference. Is that clear? So a business, when you start, you have to think whether I can get competent and committed workforce to my business or not. You have to think, because sometimes what happens, you might interested to start a business for which you need such a people who are highly qualified and who are highly committed committed to the work. But in that particular region or in your circle, you don't find any such people. So individually you cannot even carry out. You need the help of some other employees, but you cannot find them. Better don't go with such business options. It becomes too risky. And one of your method of dealing with business risk says, don't never go with highly risky transaction. When you know that business yields good profits, but you don't have committed and you cannot find committed and competent workers in order to continue in that business, better don't go with that business. Okay, even you have to think whether you will get competent and committed workforce to that business or not. Then comes tax planning. So if you want to start a business, even you should have least idea of tax. What are the different types of tax prevailing in our country? Okay, we have, with the help of the introduction of GST, almost it has made clear. Before there were too many types of taxes prevailing in our country, India. But now with the help of GST, almost we can say the taxation has become very easy to the business people. And even you have to think many things like if you do a business, if you come out with such a business where the tax rates are very high, you cannot save anything there. So better don't go with such options. Right? In that way, even you should have a good planning about the taxation for the business what you want to start. And the lastly, launching of business. So you have to think how and when you want to launch a business. That is, start your business, introduce your business into the market. Because we generally say if your first entry is good, generally a good opinion will be created into the market. So whenever you enter into the market, when you launch your business into the market, you should create a good opinion in the market, which helps you to sustain, to stay in the market for a longer period. Okay, hence you have to plan well how I have to introduce myself or introduce my business into the market. Clear? So all these 10 points are very essential to the one who want to start a business. Go with the notes given so that you'll understand in a better way. So here I want to say you that this is the last topic of our chapter 1, introduction to business. So go with all the topics. Go with all the topics, like we have started with knowing what is economic activity, types of economic activities, then what is business, what is the difference between all the economic activities. We have seen the features, then objectives, isn't it? Then what is this risk is. So all these things, even classification of business we have seen, right? Everything we have learned, and at this point we have come to understand what, if I want to start a business, what points I have to consider, on what I have to work on. Okay, so after knowing that, it will be very helpful for you to move with the other chapters. These, in first chapter what you have learned, this serves as a basics. Okay, and you should be very good at this point. Okay, please go with the notes once again. If you don't understand, read it once again. Okay, you'll surely get it, and try to remember that your headings, what we say, for all the things we have headings now, all those headings are as per your textbook itself. If something extra might be added, sometimes the extra headings might be added, but if you actually refer the textbooks, all will be as per your textbooks. Only the explanation part, some more things might be added to have more clarification regarding the concept. Okay, go with all the videos, try to understand the first chapter, introduction of business, in a clear way, which helps you to move in a right way with your other chapters. Hope you do so. So till we meet in our next class, take care, bye bye.